Look, the majority of the people who run an AI agency in 2023 will fail. However, there's going to be a small contingent of people who watch this video and who will see a massive success and be able to live the life they've always wanted to live. As someone who has seen a bit of success firsthand in the agency space, I can confidently tell you the reasons why you're most likely to fail, and hopefully by me telling you these reasons, you can avoid them entirely. There was a quote by a man called Otto von Bismarck, and he states that only a fool learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So I've gone through the mistakes, the suffering and the pain so you watching this video do not have to. And I'm happy I can share it with you guys because I know for a fact if you watch this video in full, you are going to be so much more prepared and so much more likely to succeed with your agency in 2020. This is the exact video I wish I had when I started my agency over a year ago, and that is exactly why I'm actually making it. You guys have been going crazy with the support on the channel, so I'm going to do everything in my power to give back to you guys in terms of value. So without further ado, we're going to get into this video. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special video today, why most people will fail when running an AI automation agency in 2023. Now, the title of this video suggests that a lot of people will fail, and it is true. You know, some people fail, some people won't fail, and I'm going to really show you in this video why that is. And from having my experience over the last year, I failed many times, so if I can tell you what I've done wrong so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did, then it's going to be a very powerful and value driven video. So without further ado, we're going to get into the first point. The first point we're going to be looking at is you can't book a consistent flow of sales meetings. This is a huge problem for 90-80% of agency owners. You know, it's a huge bottleneck and it's something that needs to be addressed, and I'm going to do exactly this and give you my reasons for not only why you can't book meetings but also how to fix it, because there's no good me showing you what you're doing wrong. I'm actually going to show you what you should be doing. So let's talk about the copy of a script. The copy means the words that are in the script, so this is, you know, applicable for cold emails, cold messages, cold calls. It's all the same thing, right? And every agency, it doesn't matter if you're an AI agency or an SMMA or whatever, you still need meetings and you still need a consistent flow of meetings, because we all know the saying that cash flow is king. Without meetings, you can't close deals. So we're going to talk about instant script hunters versus lateral thinkers. Now, let's start with, you know, the bad one, which is instant script hunters. Now, these are people that go onto YouTube or they find someone who is doing something successful and they just copy and paste the same script. Now, on the premise, it may seem innocent and harmless, but let me tell you something. If you're just copying someone else's script, you're going to fail. Temporary success, but certain death in your business, of course. I'm talking about not actually death, but you get the point. And the reason for this is I'll get into it now. Why? Why are you bound to fail if you just copy and paste scripts from YouTube? There's this concept called entropy. Now, entropy states that all systems will die over time. It's a chemistry term, but we're going to apply it to agency and sort of business. So it states that all systems will eventually die. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you copy a script from someone else, you may see temporary success in that it will work for a month, 2 months, 6 months if you're lucky. But then what's going to happen is entropy will kick in and that script will no longer work. And if you don't know why that script worked, but you just copied and pasted it, then you won't know what to do next. And let me tell you something, you may be in a bit of pain and struggle and stress because let's say you're not making the money you want to make. There is nothing worse than making the money you want to make, but then never being able to do it again. That would be more painful than just not making money in the first place. And that's what's going to happen if you just copy and paste other people's scripts on YouTube or just any other scripts in general. Now, another reason why this doesn't work is due to overexposure. Overexposure means the prospects have become conditioned in a sense that means that they've seen the same copy, they've seen the same words time and time again, which means that they're fed up and they just don't want to see it, so they probably tell you to go away or respond negatively to your outreach. And that is why, because you're copy and pasting the same script as other people, which means that thousands of other people who've seen the video you saw used that same script, used the same niche, and now you've got a mess where everyone's compiling into the same thing. So this isn't good. This is actually terrible. However, let's look at the other side, the people that win. These are the lateral thinkers. These are people who will see crazy success in the long run. They may struggle at first, for the first few months, but they will be the ones that win. Hands down, there's no two ways around it. This isn't probably what you want to hear. You probably want an easy script which you can copy and paste and, just apply it. But I'm telling you this for a reason, and it's because I want the best for you, and I want the best for my viewers, subscribers, and I want you to succeed, and this is how you do it. And if I didn't care about you, I would just give you a script, because deep down I know that that's not how this game works. So these are the people that win. They question why a certain aspect of a script works. So instead of just copy and pasting it, they look at it, they analyze it, they improve, improvise, and implement similar psychological factors. So let's say, I'll use the common one for Instagram DMs at the moment. It's, hey, is this the best place to ask questions? Instead of using that, you should ask yourself why it works. And I can tell you why it works because it's pretty simple psychology, really. It works because it, provokes curiosity. The prospect doesn't know if you're a client or someone trying to sell them something, so they're bound to respond. And yeah, you just need to dig below the surface and find out sort of why it works and then change it to make it your own. And they are also the type of people, lateral thinkers, and they understand the foundations of why people book meetings in the first place. Because when someone comes to me and they say, Charlie, I'm struggling to book meetings, the first thought that comes into my mind is that you just don't know basic psychology. And that's okay, because it's something you can learn and something that you can gain as a skill to then book meetings. You need to know how to get people to say yes, both for meetings and for closing deals, giving you money, really. Now, this is the premise of, cold outreach. It doesn't matter what it is, once again, it doesn't matter what agency you run, it's the same sort of process, you could say. And it all starts with cold outreach. The prospect receive the script in, it could be a cold email, speaking form, it could be an email, a DM, it doesn't matter. And a small portion of these prospects will get curious. And that is the driving factor behind meetings. So another mistake I see is that the agency owners give too much away in the details. They tell the prospect about the price, they tell them about the Facebook ads, I use this chatbot, I use this. No one cares. You need to sell the destination, not the journey. You need to sell the holiday, not the plane journey, if that makes sense. And then obviously once you do outreach, you're going to receive data, and then you can sort of change it if it's not working. So that's why you should track your outreach. And most beginners don't track outreach because they just don't know any better. But I'm telling you, track your outreach and you'll be able to see where you're going wrong. But now let's actually go one step deeper. Let's look into the psychology behind appointment booking. I've put 5 in a list because I think these are the 5 most important things that you need to know now in order to sort of get ahead of 90% of the people who are running an agency or started to run an agency now. The first one is agitation. You need to understand that the prospect is only really going to work with you in terms of giving you money and becoming a client if they are not happy in their current situation. Now, it could be your job to amplify the pain in their current situation on the sales call by asking questions in the sort of opening phase. But the next one's curiosity. Obviously, a huge driving factor. Humans are great at identifying opportunities, and you need to play on that. So don't give too much away in the DMs or email. Just try to get them on a call. Next one's reciprocity. Reciprocity means that sort of when I give you something for free, you're much more likely to give me something back. So an example is, I think I used this in another video, but let's say I were to give you a donut and we are colleagues at work in the morning. I gave you a donut completely free, didn't ask anything back. If I were to ask you a favor later on in the day, you are much more likely inclined to help me out and do that favor for me because I've given you something first. So we can use that in psychology and appointment booking to book more meetings by essentially, giving the prospect something for free first and then getting them to book in after. The next one is risk aversion. This means that humans are much more inclined to not lose anything rather than to gain something. So let me repeat, humans would rather not lose than to gain. So that's why having a guarantee and having risk reversal, which is something that, a client can't lose anything. They can't lose money by working with you. That is so important in this day and age. And the next one is entropy, overexposure, which we just talked about. All scripts, all systems will die eventually. So the ones you can understand why it worked, so then once it dies, they know what to do and they're not completely out their depth in terms of knowing what to do. Now there's two sides of getting clients. There's hard client acquisition, let me zoom in, and there's easy client acquisition. And you can only be one or the other. So hard client acquisition comes from a weak offer, no risk reversal, no guarantee, and not much volume in terms of outreach. However, easy client acquisition, what makes it easy to get clients is a strong offer, a risk reversal, guarantee, and volume in terms of outreach. These are crucial. These are non-negotiables. If you don't work on this and sort of improve this before you get started with your agency, whether it's AI or whatever, then it's going to be really hard for you to actually get clients and you probably will fail. Now I'm going to use this diagram because I like to be visual, and hopefully this can sort of, visually display what I'm trying to get at. So when your clients aren't working with you, your prospects' current situation, this is where they are, at the bottom of the ladder. Now, they are unhappy, they're not making money, they want more sales. It could be whatever. It's your job to, do some research into your niche and find why your prospects or what prospects in your niche are struggling with the most. And then that's obviously the biggest pain point. And if you know anything about sales or appointment booking, people buy out of pain much more than they buy towards pleasure. So if you can find the biggest pain point and offer a solution like, chatbots, which would, help them with customer service, etc., whatever it may be, lead gen. I do appointment setting because I know people struggle with that, especially coaches. So then you're going to find out where they want to be. This is obviously for sales, really, not appointment booking, but it's the same premise. And then your service is what's going to get them from point A to point B. And then you're going to have a guarantee, a risk reversal, which means that let's say they're working with you for a month and 10 days in something goes wrong. This trampoline is going to bounce them back up so they can't lose anything by working with you. And that's insanely powerful because you can simply just ask a prospect on a sales call, what's the worst that can happen? And just shut up, just don't say anything in the objection phase. And they're going to be like, well, yeah, nothing bad can happen. You've got a guarantee. It's amazing. So boom, that's that. Now let's talk about the other thing which we're going to talk about today, which is going to be having a poor service or having the same offer as everyone else. It's by no surprise that AI is absolutely trending at the minute. It is crazy in terms of YouTube videos, people getting into it. So you need to be different. You need to differentiate yourself from other people. Now, if you don't have a good service, and I'll talk about how you can get a good service in a minute, but let's say you don't have a good service, this is going to manifest into your confidence, which means that it's going to manifest into your sales calls and your outreach. So by nature, subconsciously, you know that, look, my service isn't very good, but you're still trying to present it and pitch it to business owners for thousands of dollars. Trust me, humans are very good at telling when someone isn't confident in something. It's the one thing humans are good at. So yeah, don't do that. Sales is essentially a transfer of energy. But if you know deep down that your service isn't good, then the prospect will pick up on it and not buy your service. Obviously, you can do free trials and things to sort of test your product out, get a better experience, that kind of thing. So that's one example of doing it. But the solution, in my opinion, is just work on the service as much as possible. Now, do it now. Learn how to run automations on platforms like GoHighLevel, Zapier, BotPress, whatever you're doing before acquiring clients. GoHighLevel literally has a 14-day free trial. I'll leave a link in the description. You can support me, use my link for the value I'm giving to you guys. That would help me out. But you get what I'm saying, right? Use the softwares now and get prepared for when you do sign a client. You're going to be much more likely to actually be able to deliver a good service because you've, figured out how to set up, SMS campaigns or email campaigns for your clients. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm big on empirical knowledge, which means that learning as you go. So that's why I'm against college or university, because it's all conceptual knowledge. It's knowledge based on theories, not actually learning, whereas this is going to be a much more better task for you to do because you're learning as you do it. And that's sort of the best way you can learn to do service delivery as well, is learning by just getting a client in the first place, having a good offer and a guarantee. So if you don't have a good service and let's say something happens, it's your first client, then you can always just give them a refund. And look, it's not the worst. You know, you gain experience, they get their money back, everyone's happy. But yeah, I would recommend getting like GoHighLevel, Zapier now, and then sort of getting, I mean, you get 14 days free, but you can get prepared and learn automations. I've got multiple videos on sort of how to do AI, chatbots on GoHighLevel, all that good stuff. So you can check my other videos out on that. But you still need to be doing outreach. Don't let this distract you from not doing outreach. Now, this is another reason, a huge reasons why a lot of people fail. It's called resistance. Now, resistance is when we subconsciously put off doing the hard tasks. If you've ever felt like procrastinating when you try to do outreach, or procrastinating, or you're nervous for sales calls, the reason for that is because that is when you experience the most amount of growth in your business. So it's scary, right? Because it's something you haven't done before. And it just makes sense, it's pretty self-explanatory, but you cannot replace it by doing easy tasks. Like, I see a lot of people build websites, build logos, just do irrelevant things which aren't making you money, but it gives them dopamine and they think they're doing something, but when in reality you're not doing anything. Building websites, building logos, that is not going to make you money. It's called resistance. You get self gratification because you think you're doing work, but you're just not. You're putting off the actual work that you know deep down you should be doing. And a good task is whatever scares you the most in your business right now, that is what you should be doing. That is exactly what you should be doing, the most scary thing in your business. So the last thing I'll leave you with is just patience. People, you get on YouTube, I signed my first client in 1 week. I signed my first client in 30 days. It's hard to get caught up with other people's results, and the 10% that do find immediate success. But look, don't rush the process. Enjoy the process as well. Don't, like, the first client you have will be the most happiest time in terms of your business. Like, I can remember for sure signing my first client is way more exciting than what I do now in terms of getting clients all the time. So success requires both urgency and patience. Do the outreach, learn service delivery, get, GoHighLevel, learn automations, but be urgent about making the effort and patient about seeing the results. Quote by Ralph Marstone. So it takes a long time to build something valuable. It does take something, it's not an easy, quick, get rich quick business, It's an amazing business because you learn every skill possible in terms of sales, marketing, appointment setting, service delivery, handling customers. It's great, and you'll learn a ton of things as you go. So just focus on learning every day, but putting in the inputs, putting in the outreach, putting in the service delivery, and eventually you will see success after, months, could be 6 months, a year. But just stick at it, and if you stick at it with one niche, one service, you will be the sort of 5-10% that will succeed in this day and age. But it just takes time to build something great. That's obviously not what you want to hear, but I'm here to tell you what's true, and hopefully by me telling you this, you're not going to get disappointed when you do it for a week and you're like, oh, Charlie, I haven't seen results. So hopefully that helps. I do thank you for watching this video because it is in your best interest, and watch it again in terms of the outreach and the sort of fundamentals of appointment booking and the psychology behind it, because at the end of the day, that's, in my opinion, what is the most important thing. But yeah, I hope you found this video valuable. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you need GoHighLevel, I'll leave a link in the description. You can get 14 days completely free. And if you want one-to-one coaching, I'll also leave a link in the description as well for that. But yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.